All right, good afternoon. Welcome to Saturday. Hard to believe we're in the middle of November, almost Veterans Day, up here at Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. No football charter today, but it's such a beautiful day, so I think we'll come out here and spend a couple of hours and watch some aircraft for you. Thank you so much for being here. It's been a little bit. We've had a lot going on. The last time I was here was the 747 departure we had a couple of weeks ago, so glad to be up here again today. Know we got a special livery later on today. We got a Delta 757 later on today, so we'll see what all we happen to get. Thank you all so much for being here. Happy Saturday, everybody. I've had some changes since I was here a couple of weeks ago. I'll show you one major change here in a second as the United Express flight touches down. The old hotel is almost gone. There's just a little bit of the lower level around the elevators that is left. Other than that, the Sheraton is gone. So that is one major change for Hopkins. It should be turned into a parking lot. There's the Southwest. On their way to sunny Phoenix, Arizona, Sky Harbor International Airport. The sun is like directly overhead to my left, so it looks good for the airplanes, but a little hard to see. I hear the airport's actually on track to have more United seats sold this year than they did in the last couple of years of the hub, so it should be a good thing to see. Hopefully it'll lead to more growth in the future.
Good afternoon, United 1144, spot 2, information Oscar, ready to go up at 17 after, so put it away. 1124, clear the ground runway. It's going to be 2 for left, the taxi, Juliet 4, hold short of Lima. Juliet 4, hold short of Lima, 24 left, ground United 1062, approaching spot 2 is Oscar. United 1062, clear the ground runway 2 for left, taxi via Juliet 5, Lima. Juliet 5, Lima, 24 left, United 1062.
Across a beam shark at or above 3,000. Clear visual, both showing 24 right.
See over there in the background is the Delta 757, one of the NBA charters. It's supposed to leave around 3:30 this afternoon, so we should see that leave today. Cavaliers are off to an unbelievable 10-0 start to start the season this year.
I don't think we're going to make that 11 wheels up there. Okay, copy that. I'll figure out what the next one is going to be. Alright, sorry about that. We'll call you back when they figure it out down there. So you're just kind of waiting at the gate indefinitely right now? Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. They don't have a headset, so they just keep staring up at me. Wandering around something.
100. It's like he must have the clearance to go. He's taxiing a lot faster than what the other one was. United 737 heading over for departure. We got a Frontier inbound. I can't figure out what I did with my mounts. I can tell you what everything is. The Frontier that's coming in is flight 1288 out of Sarasota, Florida. About a minute or so out. And the United is heading to the runway will be flight 1062. It says a 900, it's an 800 heading to Houston. We've had a lot going on. One of the not so fun things that has going on is we live on an old farm. We've always had mice every once in a while, especially this time of year. But this year we got a rat. And so there's been a lot of work that we've been doing, just trying to make sure everything is sealed off, everything food-wise is put away. I think I got like 20 traps set up in different spots in the house, so trying to catch. We got at least 2 of them. I saw 2 last night in one of our cages. We have a couple of parrots, and Every once in a while, he would just start laughing. Here's the United. They're on their way over to Houston. But we should be out here both days this weekend. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so I don't know if we'll live stream or just do a regular video, but hoping to try to pick up some spotting. It's been a little bit. We got the holidays coming up. Should see a little bit of an uptick in traffic for the holidays, maybe some additional cargo flights that'll be coming in. So we'll try to get up here to get those for you.
3,500.
One disappointing thing that was announced this week, Sun Country, the flight that was started this summer, the first flight that we took to Minneapolis. Back in May, they had decided not to resume the Minneapolis service next year, so we are losing Sun Country in the Cleveland market,
Out of below 3,500.
which is really surprising as they continue to deal with their financial issues. So they cut Orlando out of Cleveland, and they cut the LAX flight out of it's Columbus. But American picked up the LAX flight out of Columbus, so at least travelers down there will still have a nonstop. Probably a better nonstop on American. Oh, maybe they did switch runways. It looks like United is going down to 6 right. Meanwhile, Frontier, who usually would be taxiing on the taxiway that United is on, or kind of over that area, they came all the way down here. We usually don't see Frontier get this close to the garage. They like to go to that outside one, and so if you're over at Aviator, sometimes you'll see them up close over there. Thought I heard some footprints. Thought someone was coming to get me. I believe this is our friend Trixie the Fox on this A320neo taxiing over to one of the Alpha Gates. Just came in from Sarasota a few minutes ago. Yeah, that United is definitely going over the 6 right. That means we'll see Taylor when the Chiefs play the Browns here in a few weeks. The Atlas Air 747, we'll see that towards the end of the season when the Miami Dolphins come to town. So we'll have another shot at the Atlas Air 747 later on this year. The Houston Rockets 767 went to Detroit today. It's going to land around 5 o'clock, 5:30 this afternoon. Maybe we'll get lucky. We'll get a daytime arrival for that when the Rockets come to town later this year. Holidays, we'll see some more of the cargo aircraft, more than likely around Black Friday, but the Delta connection.
Sure, gonna be 6:15 now.
The next year should be a fun year here at Hopkins. We're going to have the 100th anniversary, the 100th birthday of Cleveland Hopkins Airport will be next summer. Hopefully that will coincide with the beginning of the reconstruction of the terminal for the master plan. I haven't heard of any new airlines coming in next year yet, but it should still be a pretty cool year with the new terminal coming and the 100th birthday for the airport. They will be heading to Washington Reagan National Airport, DCA, CRJ 700. The Delta 737 should be getting ready to line up for departure here shortly. Frontier 2468, a A321neo out of Atlanta, carrying a Fisher. This A321neo is turning final for runway 6 left, about 2 minutes out. So that'll be our next inbound aircraft. And from a military standpoint, anything military flying around out there today does not look like it. At least from what I can see. CRJ heading out. Saturdays are usually one of the quieter days here as far as inbound and outbound flights.
18 ident. Light, clear takeoff. That's 3, but either one works for Lumberg 4464. Alright, we'll grab through here.
Meanwhile, we'll go way out here in the distance and we'll see Delta Airlines. I think it was flight 786. It's a 737-900 heading down to Atlanta, Georgia. And actually, if you look just above it, you'll see that Frontier. And they're, oops, there they are. They're actually inbound from Atlanta. A little dual aircraft action here today.
Booster 5615 second. Flight 2468, cross runway 6 right here, contact ground. Cross 6 right here, contact ground.
Kind of guessing where the airplane is because the sun right now is directly in the direction that I'm facing.
30 Romeo, multiple targets in the vicinity of Java 2500 below radar.
Need to buy one of those monitors, those larger monitors for this camera so we can see a little bit better.
86, contact clear center 134.9 cadet.
The United Express CRJ we have on the screen right now is flight 4464. It came in from Newark a few minutes ago. It's a CRJ 550. Operated by GoJet Airlines. Not an airline or an aircraft that we see here very often. We do get a decent amount of CRJs, of course, but they're usually Delta or American regional carriers. So a little unusual to see a United one today. The ERJ 145 is over on the other side of the sea gates. Probably kind of in the area around C24, so we can't see it from here, But a couple of unusual catches for us. Maybe not unusual at a lot of airports, but we don't see a lot of these around here anymore. Not since the hub days, for sure.
45 Charlie, roger. Be County is on runway 6 right now. I'll coordinate that a little bit after you're on the go from Lake Bluff.
Ah, there he is. Dubai to Houston. Now that there are no A380s in Chicago, and British Airways is cutting DFW for the winter. I haven't seen very many I haven't seen an A380 at all this year, so about as close I think as we're going to get, unless we get to Dulles by the end of the year, which is something I still do hope to do. But the Whale Jet clock. Here's our Southwest. Just as soon as I said, hey, the forecast today is mostly sunny, now we have a pretty good sized layer of clouds moving in. But you know what? I'll take it. It'll make it a little bit easier to see. Behind the Southwest here in a second, you'll see the new hangars for Sherwin-Williams that opened up in October. Beautiful new facility for them. Their new tower, their new skyscraper downtown is getting close to completion as well. They put the letters up on it. So I know they still got, I'm sure they still got a lot of work to do inside of it, but the new Sherwin-Williams headquarters as well as their aircraft hangar getting close to completion. The hangars are open out. I think they opened back in October.
1569, was that you checking in? Yeah, that was 1569 Southwest Alpha Crossing 648 Bravo 10. Next to be Lima Juliet 5. Lima Juliet 5, taking up to 665.
Now that the sun went behind a cloud, it got a little cooler. Off to my left, that United 737 MAX that we were talking about is pushing back from their gate. So we'll get that one on the camera here for you in a second. We'll just follow the Southwest as it makes its way over to Bravo 10. So we'll lose it here in a second, and we'll get the United on the screen. Here's the United. So United will be flight 678, or 679, I apologize, flight 679, 737 MAX 8 heading to LAX. Those things always sound weird when they start up. Delta Connection 5815 out of LaGuardia as our next inbound flight. They're about 10 minutes out. Like American Eagle 5814 out of Philly is about 15 minutes out as well.
29er, expect runway 6, county information, aviation.
The United Max heading out, they'll head over to 6 right for departure. On their way to LAX. Left, so I think the United is going to get out of here first. Flight 679 heading to LAX. I don't know if you can see them in the stream or not, but there's a bunch of those midges, those little flies, right in front of the camera, which is something else I'm not used to seeing here in November. International visitors will show up and surprise us today. You never know what'll happen. That's one of the beautiful things about being at the airport, is you never know what might show up. American Eagle ERJ 145. That aircraft heading to Oklahoma City. We'll probably see it push. We'll probably see it leave here in the next 15-20 minutes. The CRJ is pushing back now.
Would you say we're at Continental Aviation, like the northeast side of the rim? Runway 6 right, taxi to Juliet 5 Lima.
Flight 4559 will be heading back to Newark. The CRJ we have pushing back. CRJ 550 operated by GoJet. Kind of an unusual visitor here at Hopkins Airport. We don't see a lot of United Express CRJs up here. It's typically going to be your E175s and then certainly your 737s.
5 miles, turn west now, 3,100 indicated 5 miles.
American Eagle flight diverting into Pittsburgh. It was going to Toronto. I was wondering if there might be something going on up there. I don't see anything on the radar that would make me think it might get any diversions, but hey, you never know. They've had some equipment outages the last couple of weeks up in Newark that have led to some diversions. We haven't had anything spectacular here. Just had a couple of heavy jets go to Pittsburgh, but you know, you never know. Maybe something will happen. We'll get a diversion. Not wishing bad things on anyone, but you never know. Maybe we'll see a diversion today, or maybe something military today. You never know. I just happened to see that diversion pop up going to Toronto. They're going down to Pittsburgh, so I wonder what's going on with that. I don't know, maybe weather, or who knows what's going on up there. Of course, it could also be a glitch on Flight Radar 24. It was supposed to have gone there to begin with. But hey, you never know.
Set to maintain 4,000.
I also see over here at Charlie 3, the American Eagle E175 has pushed back. So the good folks at Envoy have pushed back this E-Jet. Flight 4387 will be heading to John F. Kennedy International Airport. Delta 8926 just called. So they just called for their taxi clearance. That aircraft to be heading to Oklahoma City. 757-200 here on the field, the Golden State Warriors charter. So we should see that 757 depart here momentarily. In fact, it looks like it is moving, so we should see that go here in the next couple of minutes. Meanwhile, I think this is the Gulfstream we were talking about earlier. The FlexJet Gulfstream on a maintenance flight is due back in about 45 minutes. I saw it was all white, and I thought maybe it was going to be that C37 we were talking about earlier. That's been here for several days. 8926, they're waiting for the CRJ we were following a little bit ago. Heading to Oklahoma City.
traffic is now at 10 o'clock and 4 miles northwest down 2000 indicated tag unknown. Have a good day.
757 is such a good looking airplane, isn't it? This one, of course, is in the charter configuration. Because it is full of the larger seats. So it doesn't have, like, it doesn't have economy seats in it. It's all going to have all same size of seats. I got to ride in one of these when we went to Portland for a bowl game when I was in college. They put us more towards the back of the airplane, of course, but it was nice having the extra legroom and everything. Here's the Gulfstream lining up. It's a FlexJet Gulfstream on a maintenance flight. The good people over at Constant do maintenance on these aircraft for them. So this aircraft will take off, fly around for a little while, and it's scheduled back in here around 3:50 this afternoon.
Departure, identify, maintain 6,000. Operator, contact mile northeast, county altitude indicates 1,900. Number 91 X-ray record. Before flight 240.
And then the next departure after the CRJ should be the Delta 757. The Golden State Warriors charter, I'm pretty sure, is who's on that aircraft. I don't think it's empty. Well, we saw the buses pull up, so we know it's not empty. So that should be the Golden State Warriors heading to Oklahoma City for their next game. There's the United.
Number 4559, contact Lead Center 120.7.
And we got the American Eagle. They're on their way to JFK. Here's our United. Flight 1376 at the MAX 9 just came in from LAX. So we should start seeing more and more aircraft come in for arrivals here soon. Glad everyone was here for the 757 departure that we had today. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday. We are live from Cleveland Hopkins International Airport watching a Delta or United 737 heading in. NASCAR bot is rooting for Ryan Blaney. I see Ryan Blaney backing it up this year, but I don't know. It's hard to bet against Joey Logano, especially in an even year. We'll see what happens. Curly is here. Hope you're doing well today. Hope you guys are enjoying the live stream. A little bit later on today, we should have the Continental Airlines Retro 737. There would be inbound from Cancun around 4 o'clock this afternoon, so make sure you stay tuned for that one. Here in Cleveland, it is getting a little bit cooler. Once we had that layer of clouds move in a little bit ago, it's definitely cooled off a little bit. Still probably in the mid-50s. But considering it's November, it's not snowing, and I'm up here in a hoodie. Absolutely could be much worse. So we're going to enjoy the nice weather while we got it. Hope everyone gets a little bit of time outside. Actually had another appearance of the Northern Lights last night. It wasn't nearly as amazing of a show as we've had earlier this year, but saw some pictures that people took of the Northern Lights over the lake last night, which was pretty cool. Been an amazing year of the Northern Lights, the comet, and of course the eclipse we had in the spring. Wonder what gate our MAX is going to. It might be going to the end, so I don't know if we're going to be able to see it. I don't see anybody down here, which kind of leads me to think it's not going to come around the terminal, so it's probably going to go to one of the end gates. Still have not seen the United Express ERJ pushback. They should be heading to Dulles. Kind of a very unusual airplane for us. I put him on my camera and he shuts up. He's just like my parrots. He yells at me and then I put him on the camera and they get quiet. There he goes. Couple of inbound flights here. Delta Connection 4014. E175 inbound from Minneapolis. Directly behind that is Delta Airlines 1579. A 737 out of Atlanta. Hey, there's two of them now. 737 out of Atlanta. They actually asked them to take 6 right since they're getting pretty close together. Let's have a nest up there. I think the one that went up there and started flapping his wings and got mad, that's probably the wife, right? I always forget that shooting about 1.5 miles away when they're coming in down there. 1.5 miles, 2 miles away.
Calling, ready for your time.
There he is. Delta Airlines 1679. It's a 737-900 out of Atlanta. That aircraft will be landing here on runway 6 right. Kind of a rare 6 right arrival today due to traffic. See, all the de-icing equipment is set up, ready to go for those cold mornings when aircraft need to be de-iced. Not ready for that.
79, we can turn left to Alpha, left downwind, left Alpha. Alright, right turn Alpha, left turn.
Of course, the mainline aircraft will get to the gate sooner.
Ground tech to be a Lima, Juliet 5. Alright, Lima, Juliet 5, building itself 1579.
I was going to say earlier, if you weren't with me earlier, we were talking about the Sheridan, the old hotel that was on the site. Is mostly torn down now. There's just a little bit of the lower level, kind of around where the elevator shafts are, that's still standing. The rest of it has been torn down. They're going to put a new parking lot there. On Facebook the other day, I saw somebody posted a picture from sometime, I think in like around 58, 59, something like that. And don't quote me on the year. But when the hotel first opened and they were building the north, the races were actually held, like where the pylons actually were. I wanted to do a documentary. I've been talking about it for a couple of years. We're trying to compile more information and also get a little bit better as far as like editing and maybe making some animations and whatnot to do that documentary for you on the National Air Races. So I'm gonna hope to get that posted next year for the 100th anniversary of Hopkins Airport that opened in 1925. 1925 will also be 100 years for the Goodyear blimp, so I'll probably do something for that for you as well. Southwest rolling out. Flight came in from Atlanta. A lot of history up here, of course. A lot of aviation history. A lot of history in general. So I'm trying to post a little bit more about that aviation heritage that we have here. Thank you everyone who checked out the B-17 video that I posted as well. A lot of comments saying that it's the title was misleading. Yeah, there's more than one B-17 in existence, and that is true. But I titled it Last Flying Fortresses and pluralized it, so I'm not sure how it's that misleading. But thank you everyone who watched that video. Yeah, there are only 3 airworthy B-17s right now, with the sale of Yankee Lady, just Ye Old Pub, Sentimental Journey, and Sally B. But it sounds like movie Memphis Belle, that they're about done with that restoration, so that airplane is scheduled to fly or expected to fly next year. And there's a few other ones that are out there in various stages of restoration that we hopefully will see fly again soon. But thank you everyone who checked out that video. If you're a new subscriber, welcome. I really appreciate you being here. Hope you're enjoying the live stream today. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you've been here since the very beginning, thank you so much for your long-term support. I really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, hit that like button. Share the stream with your friends. And if you really like it, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I usually post about 3 or 4 times a week. Been a little bit less lately. We just had a lot of stuff going on, but hopefully we'll be able to spend a little bit more time at the airport as we get into the next few weeks. Do live streams as well as regular videos, so hopefully things slow down a little bit. We'll be able to go out and do a little bit more spotting. It won't be this week for sure, but hopefully in the next couple of weeks we can get out here and do some more spotting for you. We will be here next weekend for the heavy that'll be coming in though.
Quebec is current, Delta the arrival, no changes other than the approach, order 3029, plan 6 right. That's correct. Maintain 5,000, follow 1 to 2 and 5 miles, base turn to final 5,000 airbus. Runway 6 left.
Looks like Southwest has their computer figured out, and they are on their way to the runway. We'll see it here in the foreground here shortly, I think, as the United rolls out. Trying to do a quick rundown of where everybody is. There's Frontier. Also, the American Eagle ERJ-145 has pushed back. This aircraft will be heading to Philadelphia. The United one that was supposed to have left about 3 o'clock, they are still here. I don't see them live yet either. Actually, I apologize, it just went live. Flight 4229 heading to Dulles.
Visibility 10, broken all the way up to 25,000, temperature 132.-3, altimeter 3027. Really appreciate that. 3029 on the meter. 30 plus
Delta Connection E170 Frontier flight out of Philadelphia. I believe it's Steve the Eagle. Airbus A321. Not a Neo, just an old A321. Pretty soft landing over there. It looks like they did a really nice job. Wind is calm right now, so pretty optimal flying conditions.
Right, taxi via Juliet 1, Kilo Lima, issues caution.
This is Steve the Eagle.
Charlie 19 after left. Juliet 1, Kilo Lima for runway 6, right.
We are seeing more and more bald eagles up here as population improves. So as things gets colder, we usually will see a lot more of them around here. Eagles, hawks, owls, all kinds of cool things will start showing up as the weather gets colder. Excuse me.
Here, 1472 is here across the direct south there. Venture 1472 ground, taxi via Lima, Juliet 6, Juliet. Lima, Juliet 6, Juliet, Frontier 1472.
Delta 3899, runway 6 right, wind 110, 560.
Southwest lining up on 6 right. They'll be heading to BWI. Went from a bald eagle to a great white shark on the tails of the Frontier Airbuses here. I think the eagle's trying to run away from the shark.
6 miles speed across
The Southwest.
or above, clear off like 6 left. 3 deep point -3, altimeter 3029.
The Hornet is there, the Raptor, the Viper, the A-10's final ever weekend. That looked like a really good show to be at too. Speaking of air shows, the Continental Airlines Retro is on final here. Saw this airplane at the Cleveland Air Show this summer. Really nice of United to bring this one in and put it on static for a couple of days. Cleveland for a long time was a Continental Airlines hub. Still a lot of Continental employees here after the merger and the old hangar. Even though they have the United logo on it, you can still see in the paint where it says Continental. So gotta thank United for bringing this airplane to the air show. It had just come out of a repaint, so really cool to see it. One of my favorite liveries. I hope they keep a merger livery in the fleet after the repaints are done. That gold logo on it, just the 90s Continental livery, is something that I absolutely remember growing up. So I kind of hope they keep one of those around when it's over. But it is really cool to see the retro liveries like this one out there. Aircraft should be heading to Philadelphia.
0 Golf, final flight is 360.
runway takes off. This flight just came in from Cancun. It'll be heading over to customs. It should be either A9 or A14 before eventually bringing it over here and parking it at the Charlie concourse. I'm going to put a battery in my scanner, apparently.
Lima, Juliet, 6, Juliet. Lima, Juliet, 6, Juliet, United, 1037. And the Queen cleared all 36 for left approach.
I was going to stay with the Continental Retro, but it looks like the United Express ERJ 145 commute air flight heading to Dulles. Probably the rarest aircraft of the day for us. We don't see very many of these up here. Wearing the United colors. Too, so I don't know if they're testing anything like that right now. I do hear the wind tunnel firing up every once in a while. Whoa, what am I doing here? Okay, let's try that again. I let go of the bar and snapped back to position. I apologize for that. Delta Connection E175 heading out. Yeah, our NASA fleet is and also United Airlines 2226 out of Chicago O'Hare is about 25 minutes out. So those look to be the next couple of arriving flights that I can see on here. I gotta go back and look at that. Did they really change 2236 or 2336? I'm so used to that flight number. I'd almost be sad to see him change it at this point. Might be a new flight too out of DFW. I'm not really sure. 2336 is usually later in the day, so maybe it's just a new flight. Trixie the Fox heading out.
Southwest, 961 right taxi.
Southwest 961, runway 2, runway 6 right, taxi via Juliet 1, Kilo Lima.
Sounds like the wind will pick up throughout the day, and then a pretty windy day tomorrow. Southwest 961 to 737 that just pushed back. They were given their clearance to taxi. That aircraft will be heading to Chicago Midway. Sean worked at NASA Glenn back in 2014 when they had the S3 Viking. That was a really, really cool airplane. I think it was the last one still flying when NASA retired it a couple of years ago. I remember right, it went to the San Diego Air and Space Museum. I do have some videos from my when I first started spotting here back in 2021 on my iPhone. I have a couple of videos of that thing flying around. That was a really cool airplane. Made a unique sound too. But yeah, our NASA fleet now is not super exciting with the T-34 and the PC-12 that we have.
5 Fox X-ray, Cleveland, hello, for now,
They did paint the PC-12 this summer, so for a while it was NASA 606 and it was a black airplane. Now I think it's NASA 990, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's the number on it now. And it is the white and blue in the traditional NASA livery. I do wish they'd bring a jet around. When the DC-8 was in town last year, when they headed out of Dayton, they were doing some atmospheric research over the major cities. I was really hoping they would have done some flybys and maybe brought it in here. I thought with the NASA Center, they would have for sure brought that airplane here. But they never did. I did see where another DC-8 has started flying. I think it's Skybus. Just pulled it out of the boneyard and it went to Miami, I think last week. I'd love to see that. I've been fortunate enough to see the Samaritan's Purse and the NASA DC-8s when those are flying around. So I guess I gotta go see the Skybus one too. Still mad at myself at the Dayton Air Show last year. I was gonna go back on Monday. The DC-8 crew told me that they were taking off in the morning, and I had to work, but I was gonna maybe drive down early and take my work remotely and bring my computer and just work down there. I ended up not doing it, but the DC-8, the Samaritan's Purse DC-8 took off probably around 10 or 11 in the morning, and then NASA's came in. I didn't even know NASA was still flying at the time, and their DC-8 went the right path literally that day. So I could have seen both DC-8s that were still flying at the time on the same day. Did ultimately see both of them fly, but still, that would have been cool. American 3098 just came in from DFW. Trying to get to the live chat here, so I have to let the camera do its thing. The airplane is not cooperating with me though. They're taxiing too fast. There's a Southwest. Did they bring the TR, it was TR1, the NASA U2, did they bring that to the Wings Over Houston show? Hope to make it to Houston maybe in January or February for maybe a weekend trip. We'll have to wait and see. Starting like it might rain. That they do plan to build a stadium in Brook Park, which would be at the old Ford plant, which is right next door to us. But the only airport related thing that really came out was the confirmation that the city did offer Burke Lakefront as the alternative site for the stadium, which would have meant that they would be closing Burke. I still wouldn't be surprised if Burke closes. I feel like that's been the majority of the conversation this summer, has been the future of that airport. But they haven't really talked a lot about the modernization plans up here. I don't know if they've got FAA approval or kind of what the holdup is. I know they hired some contractors, and the plan is to start next year with the 100th anniversary of the airport. But I have not heard anything or seen anything probably in the last 4 or 5 months on that project. So hopefully it's still a go, and they're not gonna not do it. Some of the questions you have to wonder though after the election. A big component of the airport modernization plans here, Columbus, Pittsburgh, and places that have got new airports, has been federal money due to the infrastructure bill under Biden. And so the federal government, the FAA, has been giving pretty good sized chunks of money to airports for these modernization projects. And you have to wonder with some of the cuts and everything like that that have been out there that have been talked about in Trump's plan, if we might see some of that stuff being put on hold or maybe even shelved. So I hope that's not what's going on. I thought I had read too where the airlines, at least the majority of the airlines, have agreed to the proposal for the master plans. I know United and Frontier both did. So I hope that we start getting some updates soon on when that project's going to begin. The one thing they did talk about was how they plan on doing it in phases. So they're going to keep the airport open, of course, which they would, but they'll keep the airport open as much as possible while they're closing different concourses and maybe moving airlines around and whatnot to try to accommodate the changes as they're working on the airport. So the estimation date being in 2039. So it's definitely going to be a mess. If all this stuff goes through, if they do go with the master plan, they do start the deconstruction project and everything that's going on with the airport, and the Browns really do build their stadium over here, which of course that's got to be up in the air too. It's outside of Cleveland, so the city wouldn't be paying for it, and the county's already said that they don't want to pay for it. So I guess we'll see what actually happens with the new stadium for the Browns. But assuming it happens, and assuming that the airports go through to the master plan and they start changing the roads and everything that they're talking about, it is going to be a construction nightmare for probably 5 to 10 years up here. So I'm not looking forward to that, but definitely looking forward to the future and looking forward to the changes. We do need that new terminal. We need that new airport to happen. At least the basis, like the bare bones of it, like if they could redo the road network so we don't have the bottleneck that we have over here, if they could update TSA and the security screenings and all that, if just update that, make that easier, and just kind of modernize things and, you know, fix the lighting and paint things and whatnot, even that would be a huge win. But the parking situation, the road network up here, and the security screening areas for TSA, those would be probably I hope at the very least they do that. It'd also be really nice if they decide to not tear down Concourse D, if they could keep it and maybe open it back up for flights. But as far as I know, everything's still on plan, but I haven't heard an official start date or anything like that as far as the master plan. Here's that FlexJet Gulfstream that we had doing a maintenance flight earlier. We're heading back over to Constant. If they move the airport to Burke, it'd be a big change. No, they won't move. Actually, seeing the show is free. So I wonder if they would try to find a way to gate it, but there wouldn't be statics or that sort of thing. You can still have food trucks and whatnot, but this airport would be too busy to host a show here. But they could they could stage everything here. Yeah, Toledo's a dead airport. They have a decent amount of cargo flights with Aeronavis and some of the other cargo operators. USA Jet flying out of there quite a bit. The 180th, though, makes that airport fun, but I'm surprised that they don't have anybody out there. Some of the smaller airlines like Avelo and Breeze, you know, maybe they'll consider going out there at some point. Because Toledo is still a pretty decent hike from DTW. I mean, what's it, probably 45 minutes to an hour, maybe even more than that, from Toledo to Detroit. Maybe not quite that long, but it's still, I feel like, a decent drive between Toledo and Detroit. I want to go to the other side too because I've never been there before, and I had some friends out there, and so I just went to wherever they were. But they decided that they wanted to be on the departure end of the runway because they thought they would fly down the runway and then pitch up in front of them. But instead they were kind of pitching up more the center of the runway and going over, so everything's really like in the sun and kind of far away. So I would like to go back and go to the arrival end, I think, where they're flying level, either coming in for landing or getting behind where they're pitching up. So we'll get back out there at some point. So maybe at some point we'll do that, then maybe go up to DTW or something. We'll have to wait and see. I know they fly, I think it's the first weekend of every month is their drill weekend. Kind of depends on the weather too. Night is 737 Max is pushed back. What was the video titled? That's a good question. What was the video title?
46 stage, on Alpha Classic side.
It's not my best one for sure. Oh, it's just 180 fighter wing flybys. It's only like a 6-minute long video.
5, if that's the case, detective, Lima, Juliet 4. Lima, Juliet 4, Bravo 500.
At some point, though, we'll go back and we'll do some more. Another 737 for United pushing back. Toledo is kind of cool though, with not just when the 180th is flying, but just because of the vintage airliners that they get. So you'll get like the Aero Novice MD-80s or the USA Jet MD-80s, the 737 400s and 300s in those fleet, the classics. So it's pretty cool to see those. What a Legion flight at Toledo. Okay, that makes sense. Hopefully they grow a little bit more out there.
The call sign 54326.
Eastern Airlines 777 just flew over on its way to Portsmouth. It's in a cloud, so we can't see it, but
4236, 4654, altimeter 3027.
so we'll probably wrap this up around 5 o'clock or so today. Just trying to see what might be coming in when we get these two departures. The two American 737s that'll be departing here shortly.
3 miles southeast of Lake County.
So this aircraft should be Delta or United Flight 486 heading to Denver. The MAX 9 that went out on the other side is Flight 1645. That aircraft will be heading to Houston. Delta 1579 is pushing back as well. That's a 737 heading to Atlanta. Should be the next batch of departures. They got the MAX flight too. Oh. Anyone do that yet? The MAX 8200 for Allegiant. Kind of want to just to see what it would be like, but I feel like it would be really uncomfortable. 200 seat 737. I don't know how I feel about that.
46 right, the Kilo Lima. Kilo Lima, United 46.
Where I would go though, I think they go to Destin, isn't it? Like Eglin Air Force Base or something, where they have a lot of fighters taking off and landing down there. So that might be kind of a cool trip someday. I don't know if they'll let you spot there though. United 486 heading out to the runway. This aircraft to be heading to Denver. The Houston MAX 9 is already on its way over, so that'll be the first one to depart. Delta might get ahead of this United. We'll have to wait and see. I don't think so. So I think the two Uniteds will go first, followed by the Delta. See the Delta tail, so they're heading over as well. So we'll probably get these departures, and we'll probably head out around 5 o'clock or so. So we'll get these departures for you. It'll be getting dark here pretty soon anyways with the time change. The sun's already getting pretty low in the sky. Should be dark at probably around 10 after, quarter after maybe. The downside of this time of year is the early darkness. By the way, that United pushback was super offline. Yeah, a little bit. 1-8 went to the Delta's veteran show. That's awesome. Well, we're getting Vader spotting out of Youngstown. I do want to get to Youngstown at some point. I don't really, I mean, I don't want to say I don't care about the C-130s. I do. But I want to go out there when the one of the 89th Airlift Wing aircraft is doing touch and goes. The problem, though, is that it's about an hour-and-a-half drive from me, and for me, and the time that they get there, I don't know if I would make it a time to see them actually flying around. So that's been the thing that's kind of scared me a little bit away from going to Youngstown. Maybe at some point we'll time it right and we'll make it, but I would like to go out there to see it. They do fly quite a bit. I have got the KC-135s out of Rickenbacker a couple of times. Sounds like United 486 should be getting ready to depart. They got their clearance to take off. I can't see them. They're behind the hangars over there. So we should have the Denver flight, the Houston flight for United, and we should have the Global Express. And then we should have this United 1579 that'll be heading to Atlanta, the 737-900. I was hoping that the CO Retro would have taxied over by now, but I haven't heard maintenance call yet. It's like a little bit chillier up here. I can see the steam now. But still, for the middle of November, cannot complain. It's been a super nice day up here today. United Airlines flight. Actually, I think the Houston airplane went first. The MAX 9 heading back to Houston. $737 MAX 9 on its way out. Good news for Boeing fans, they ended the machinist strike. So hopefully that means we'll start seeing some more Boeing airplanes on their way out. Hey, this MAX got off early. Look at that.
It's 1 o'clock, 4 miles northbound, 3,500.
I haven't seen the Blackhawks in a while. The ones out of CAC I see every once in a while.